Hello guys, Julia here, and I have another coloring video for you. I know you're enjoying those. And today I want to show you how I used my colored pencils on Bazzill Marshmallow Card Shop cardstock. And I'll be getting into this in a moment. I'll be using two stamps by Purple Onion Designs. One of this is the critter called Oakley, and the other one is a sentiment stamp. And I'm going to start out by embossing the Sunshine Layers die by W+9 onto my card base here, just to add a little bit more interest. Now for stamping. This is an acrylic block and I adhered some tack and peel, and you can see tack and peel is a very thin layer, a clear layer of, it's kind of like a thick foil, and it is adhesive on both sides. What you do is you adhere it permanently to one side of your acrylic block, and then on the other side you have a backer sheet which you can peel off, and then your rubber stamp clings to this. Like this, and you can peel it off, no problem at all. You can wash it off under warm water. That's what I do when it gets dirty. And then you simply put the backer sheet back on, and you can use the other side of the acrylic block as you would regularly. So if you don't want to put like foam backing on your red rubber stamps, just use tack and peel, which is also available in the Purple Onion Designs store. I wish I would have discovered it earlier because I really like that stuff. You already know that I love to use my Stamp-A-Magic with my red rubber stamps, or any kind of rubber stamps, because you can't see through them, so you have to make sure you get them down perfectly. And thanks to the Stamp-A-Magic, it's not a problem at all. Now for the coloring. Of course, you know you color in layers when you color with colored pencils. If you are not familiar with this technique, please check out my channel. I have an entire playlist on coloring tutorials with colored pencils where I explain this in great detail. So far, I have mostly used my colored pencils on the Hahnemühle Torchon watercolor paper, or on Tim Holtz watercolor paper, because that paper is thick. It's very sturdy, so it takes quite some abuse from the pencils, and it's white, which I like. I like very white paper. Now I have this Bazzill Marshmallow Card Shop cardstock, which is very thick and heavy paper, and it also has a very light texture. It's not completely smooth. There's a tiny bit of texture to it, and I was wondering, can I color with my colored pencils on top of that paper? And the answer, to my surprise, was yes, which is awesome because I really like this paper, even though I have to import it from the US. Yeah, living in Europe is sometimes really not so much fun. But I found that especially with the layering technique, I am able to get amazing effects on this paper. So it works just as well as my watercolor paper, even holds up a little bit better, because the watercolor paper that I normally use, at some point you start to destroy the paper when you work it really strongly with your pencils. And the Bazzill cardstock actually held up to it quite amazingly. I was really, really impressed. So I think I'm on my fourth or fifth layer here by now, and you can see that with each layer I increase the pressure slightly that I apply with my pencils, and that allows me to get really good coverage. The first layers are simply to put down some color to get an idea about shadows and highlights, and the subsequent layers are actually about filling in the space so you don't have any white peek through, and to get a good coverage. And I'm going to apply the same principle to coloring the bear himself. And for that, I will play some music for you and then catch you on the flip side to work on putting together the card. here we are all done with the coloring now of the bear. I'm using my anti-static tool to prepare the surface because I will be stamping with Versamark ink and I'll be heat embossing the sentiment. I always knew that I wanted to do some gold heat embossing, simply because I think once the gold embossing powder melts, it looks really amazing, and I think it's just a great way to have a clean and simple birthday card that still packs some punch. And of course, heat embossing is still absolutely magical to me. It's just to see how the embossing powder melts, it's just like, yay! Getting all giddy. Now, you saw me emboss this die into the front of my card panel, and it actually cut through partially. So I just grabbed a piece of paper that is slightly smaller than my card front, and I'm adhering it to the inside of my card, and that will keep everything together and not falling apart. I'm using a few star sequins by Pretty Pink Posh and have just sprinkled them across my card, so I added some additional interest with those. Just some sparkle, because a birthday card always needs sparkle, right? Here's a close-up of the embossing I did with the die and the sequins by Pretty Pink Posh. Those are the little details that can really give an extra touch to your card, and it's worth spending the time. Here is the coloring that I did, and as I said, I'm absolutely impressed with the Bazzill Marshmallow card shop cardstock. I really like it, and I will be using it more often from now on. And here's a look at the entire card. I hope you got inspired and, break out your pencils to give this a go as well. If you like this video, please leave me a thumbs up or a comment and subscribe. I have a lot more videos coming and I'm sure you'll be enjoying those. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers!